Okay, so today we're going to be doing this worksheet, domain and range, and we're going to write down a little bit of notes, and you can either write them up here at the top on the left or on the right, and then we'll start doing some of these examples. The first thing you need to know about domain and range is that domain is your X and range is your Y. There's two different types that we're going to be doing today. It's going to be discrete and continuous. And the way that you can tell the difference from discrete and continuous is that discrete are ordered pairs, X comma Y, X comma Y, X comma Y, okay? And on a graph, you'll see them as points. This is discrete. And continuous, on a graph, continuous just means that it continues from left to right without having to pick up your pencil. Okay, and it just keeps going forever and ever. Or it can mean, let me draw another one right here to the side. It could just be a small piece that looks like this with an open circle or closed circle or whatever. Okay, so the discrete one is easy, and I'm going to do just maybe one or two on the worksheet. The continuous one is a little more tedious. So something else that you need to know about continuous is for domain, we're going to use this to help us set up the answer. And range, the same thing, but it's going to have a Y. Okay, and it's always from the smallest number to the biggest number. So smallest number to the biggest number, and smallest number to biggest number. Del más chico al más grande. Okay. Also, if we see an open circle or a dotted line, dashed line, we're going to use one of these two symbols. And if you see a closed circle, solid line, you're going to have to put a line underneath it, which means that it equals 2. Okay, when you're done writing those notes down, we'll go ahead and start on the worksheet. If you need to pause or rewind, go ahead and do that right now. So we have problem 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all discrete functions. Discrete functions. So for example, number 1, when it asks me for the domain, just give me all the numbers that you see on the X. So that's 2, 2, 5. Don't repeat the numbers, so you would just say 2 and 5. And you would close it with a set bracket. And then the range is the Y's. And you put them in order from smallest to biggest. So the smallest one is -3, then 5, then 7. And you close it with a set bracket. Is this a function? Remember we did this last week. So you look at the x's. Did the x's repeat? Yes, the x is repeated right here. So this is not a function. Okay, so that's how you're going to do number 1 through 4. And then when you get to problem number 5, you're just looking at, for domain, you're looking at the x's. So this line right here. So the smallest number would be here, which is negative 1, 2, 3. Then this number right here, that's negative 2. Then this point right here is positive 1. And this point right here is a positive 3. And again, close it with a bracket because it's a set. I'm going to do the range numbers in blue. The lowest point is here. Both of these points are on the same y line. That is negative 1, 2, 3. And then the second point would be this one. That's at 1. And then the last point here is at 2. So my x's are on the x line, my domains are on the x line, and my ranges are on the y line. Is this a function? So how were we able to tell last time? You draw lines, right? And it's only supposed to pass one point at a time. So this one passed one time, one time, one time, one time. This is yes. Okay, so remember I told you that the ones that take a little bit more thought are the continuous ones. That's these right here, when they continue. That's when we're going to be using this template that I gave you where x, I need a small number and a big number. And then the range, the same thing, where you have a y and you need a small number, the lowest number to the biggest number, because it's going to say, we'll read it in a little bit so you know what I'm talking about. Let's look at the domain. Those are your x's. So remember, I'm looking right here at this line. From what number to what number does it go? Well, this one stays put right here. And this is at 1, 2, 3. So we can say that the lowest number is 3. And then the highest number is 3. Okay? Because it doesn't move, right? It stays from 3 to 3. Now, what did we say about solid lines? If it has a solid line, we're going to put a line underneath it, right? So if I put a line underneath this one and a line underneath this one, then we read it 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3. That means that the x's are between 3 and 3, and they can equal to 3. So that means that x equals 3. Because it didn't go through any other numbers but 3. And then range. Okay, now we're looking at the y's right here. From the lowest number to the highest number. Low numbers, the smallest numbers are down here. The biggest numbers are up at the top. So this graph goes forever and ever and ever and ever to infinity to the negative numbers. And it goes forever and ever to infinity up at the positive numbers. So I'm going to say that the lowest number it goes to is negative infinity. Okay, and you can never get to infinity, so it doesn't equal to it. And then the highest number will be positive infinity. And again, I'm not going to put a line underneath because you can never reach infinity. When that happens, you're going to get rid of the infinities. So I'm going to get rid of this one. And I'm going to get rid of this one. And then we're just left with y, because y is all real numbers. Okay? The range is all real numbers for this one because it goes from negative infinity to infinity. That means it touches all the real numbers that we have. Is this a function? Well, there's a point here, a point here, a point here, a point here. These points are all stacking one on top of each other, and we said that that cannot happen, so this is not a function. Okay, I'm going to let you practice the other ones on your own, and I'll do some examples towards the end just to make sure that you got 8, 9, and 10 correct.